Welcome back to Backstage. It could be called the ultimate movie about how not to succeed in show business. It begins with a young Bostonian who wants to make his dreams come true, so he goes out to the West Coast to make it big. That's where we sent our Sarah Zapp to get the story.
Thanks, Barry. Hollywood can be a circus, but boy, can it make dreams come true. I had a chance to sit down with two directors of an eye-opening documentary called Overnight for their raw insight into a Hollywood chance of a lifetime and how one man blew it all.
Everybody knows it's the best project in Hollywood.
Troy Duffy was moving on up in the eyes of Hollywood.
I know I deserve to be exactly where I am here.
Troy, your script is so unbelievable.
Who is this idiot?
He's just going to be so super big. His mind is just so super big.
He had all the dice in a row to basically be the next Quentin Tarantino.
Troy's script for a movie called Boondock Saints caught the eye of Miramax Films chief Harvey Weinstein. How big of a break was this for Troy Duffy to get this sort of $15 million deal to direct, to get hundreds of thousands of dollars to write the script?
In my opinion, unprecedented. I had never seen somebody, a complete neophyte, write his first script, get it produced, and a major label, Madonna's label, want to sign his band. And then, of course, him be on the cover of USA Today and the press eating him alive. I had never seen anything like that.
And it won't happen again. Hollywood won't make that mistake again.
I met up with the directors Tony Montana and Mark Bryan Smith in LA, where they've spent the last 8 years following Troy Duffy and making a documentary about their experience called Overnight. Tony and Mark not only filmed the experience, they lived it as part of Troy's inner circle.
Very soon, within months, we saw him becoming somebody that we were actually very disturbed by, and we took a lot of mental abuse during the process. But we had to basically make the decision that we had to continue shooting no matter what.
I don't believe you deserve a thing for the work that you've done for this band. You saw opportunity for yourself. That's why you did it.
It upsets me to hear you say that we don't deserve anything.
Troy started making headlines not only for his script, but his band.
Our agents had to turn away record companies right now. All these people want to be involved with me. They want to have long-term relationships with me in music and film. So I'm very happy about that.
But the tide started to change as some of Hollywood's power players turned away.
What is Harvey doing? If I'm a priority project over at Miramax,
Harvey brought him out into the public eye, made him a star.
don't sit there and call me a liar when you don't know what you're talking about.
Part of being Troy Duffy and had the ego that Troy Duffy had, he had to knock everybody else around him to be bigger than them.
Why didn't you pull him aside as friends? Or why didn't somebody else pull him aside as friends and say, hey, you're gonna blow this?
Troy was always right.
In his mind, and he would be so distasteful that people either walked away or the people who did stay on kept a distance to see what was going to happen. And also, we had to keep shooting. So we had our own agenda for, not butting heads with him too much.
An agenda that captured it all.
You've been there sometimes with me in meetings with some of the biggest guys in this town, Tony. I sit down there. I got drunk the night before. I'm hungover as hell. I'm wearing my overalls. These guys are all in suits.
What moment throughout this documentary just blows your mind?
There's a lot, so.
I think when Troy makes the anti-Semitic remark, because we had been filming for so long at that time, and it was just that one more button that he was pushing while the camera was rolling that I thought was just absolutely inappropriate.
The Boondock Saints were now the Fallen Saints.
His film went to video and his album didn't sell. And that's when he called us up and threatened us.
The bad blood begs the question, is Overnight a revenge piece?
If this was a revenge piece, the things that we could not, or that we decided not to have put in the film, would have been put in the film. There was a lot of comments about minorities, there were a lot of comments about women, a lot of comments about, about gay people, and it was bad.
So what's their relationship now?
We don't have one.
Non-existent.
We haven't spoken to him in 4 years.
In the end of this, you had a great quote that basically alluded to the fact that success is a truth drug. Is that true?
Well, because the cliche that everyone thinks about, that people have been so used to saying their entire lives and hearing that about Hollywood, is that fame changes you.
And we found out in this situation that it was in fact the opposite, that it brings out who you really are.
I can't tell you how many times I heard, oh, I've had this happen to my friends. It always falls through. Be prepared to get your ass kicked. And I still get what I need done.
And according to the directors, Troy Duffy has not given any public statements about the documentary, likely hasn't seen it, nor has he given his version. Barry, back to you.
Overnight success, it can be a harsh mistress. Overnight, the film is now playing in select theaters in Boston and Philadelphia, opens in Portland, Maine on January 5th, then moves to smaller theaters.
I knew who Billy Connolly was, and they gave me a headshot. Like, if you take your camera and frame this up right here, all right? You got him in there. That's God, right? He looks exactly like God. And I realized the character had to have this thing, right? So I met with him, and I was really trying to sell him on it. I brought this. Remember the I had like a Trapper Keeper fucking notebook with artist drawings in it and all the little bits of the script.
That's right.
He's like, oh, it's great. You've done all this preparation. I'm giving him this big pitch, and he's like, well, yeah, we're doing this, right? And I was like, he had kind of assumed, you know, yeah, we're doing it, and I had assumed like I had to convince him. And after a while, he was like, you don't need to fucking sell me. I'm done. I'm in. You know, because he wanted to be a bad guy for
he wanted to be in it. I wanted to be in it. My agent didn't want me to be in it. He said, it's a penny halfpenny thing, man. They've got no money. The man's crazy, and I'm saying, but it sounds okay to me.
To me, that's like that's the reason I do shit sometimes. If my agent doesn't want, oh, it's ridiculous. You can't possibly do that. Really?
Whoa. It sounds interesting.
Maybe I ought to read that again.
Plus, we're in a bar with his brothers and all his other hairy friends, and I thought, this is okay. I like this. These are the kind of guys I understand. And he took me outside and said, "Look, I said, I want to do it." I had to talk him into it. He's still talking me in, and I was on. You know, people won't take yes for an answer.
And then a Scottish guy comes up to him, and it got so Scottish. It's that kind of Scottish where you can't get in. It feels like a foreign language. Yeah. I didn't know what the fuck you guys were talking about. I didn't know what. I just think that that there are words any person knows. Any reasonable person knows shouldn't be used, say, around children. You don't bust out the C word at a 5-year-old's birthday party, you know? Happy birthday, cunt. You don't do that. And anybody that does, it's like, we have freedom of speech in this country, just not freedom of consequences. Somebody says cunt at my 5-year-old daughter's birthday party, he's getting yanked by his hair out my front door and beaten, all right? Now, I may be sued for that. But yeah, that word would offend me in that setting. And I believe that most people are reasonable enough to know not to do those types of things. Guys messing around on the radio waves, telling jokes, I don't think that rises to the level of offense or obscenity.
Okay, our next movie also had some disagreements. It's called Overnight. It's a documentary about an unknown director who wins the Miramax lottery and then self-destructs in unbelievably spectacular fashion. This is like a satanic version of Project Greenlight. In 1996, a script called The Boondock Saints by a bouncer bartender named Troy Duffy created a feeding frenzy in Hollywood. Miramax and Harvey Weinstein signed Duffy to direct the film, to record a soundtrack, and Harvey even said he'd buy the LA dive where Duffy worked. Now, this unbelievably cocky guy and his posse were poised to take Hollywood by storm.
If our music in this film is embraced, we will have accomplished something that no one else in the history of this world has ever done. Be accepted on a huge scale.
But it doesn't take long for the Hollywood machinery to grind up Duffy's film project and his musical ambitions. The Boondock Saints is put on hold, and Duffy goes ballistic.
You're acting like I'm financing this film. These decisions are being made for me here. Can't you guys understand that? Hey, Ed, we don't even have a damn movie yet, all right? We don't have a movie. Swayze said he passed.
Finally, Duffy does make the Boondock Saints, but it gets a minimal theatrical release and generally poor reviews. The soundtrack, it sells only a few hundred copies. Now, I've read the script for the Boondock Saints. I've seen the movie. It's a derivative B-movie Tarantino knockoff, but it has a certain gritty charm. Troy Duffy's crash and burn didn't occur because he's without talent. It happened because he's totally without a clue. So this movie, I have to give a big thumbs up to.
Thumbs up.
Fascinating.
Thumbs up for me, too. It's a great character portrait of this guy who was an egotistical monster with a serious serious drinking problem. Troy, call AA. As I saw this movie, it's interesting to see the reaction shots of everybody else in the room, wherever he goes, his relatives, the people who work for him, the people he hangs out with, all kind of look at him as if they've just about had enough of this guy.
But they stick around. I mean, this guy has to have...
They stick around because he has, but first of all, he doesn't pay them anything.
Right, yeah.
I mean, he owes them all money. They never see the money.
You deserve it, but you're not getting it.
A
lot of that. You deserve it, but you're not getting it.
And you just see in their eyes that they think this guy is completely out of control.
Amazing, but even like when one of the record companies decides not to record these guys, he's like, we got them right where we want them. They fear us. This is their worst fear. I mean, it's amazing. No matter what happens to this guy, he keeps talking about how he's going to take Hollywood by storm, and nobody's seen anybody like him. Forget that Orson Welles hack. This is the real deal.
It's a real portrait of a guy going down in flames.
Fascinating stuff.
It's the new Boondock Saints 2 All Saints Day poster. And I've got my new iPhone, people. So Wendy can get these videos up all over the place. Anybody that wants the new poster, we have made an exclusive deal with Blockbuster. So any fans want the poster, Blockbuster's where you go. We figured there's a lot, most of you only know the movie because of Blockbuster, so we decided to go back home with it. We will be talking a lot more.
With Gorilla Wire TV, it's people sharing their thoughts, their insight, their opinions, and their voice.
Hello, GorillaWire.com. Jenny here. I'm here with the director and writer of the Boondock Saints and soon-to-be-released Boondock Saints sequel, and one of the stars, Sean Patrick Flanery. I just wanted to kind of give everybody in internet land a little overview. I know the first film was based sort of on your experiences, seeing some pretty nasty stuff on violence and whatnot. What was your sort of inspiration for the second film?
Writing a sequel, it's a lot like writing a screenplay with your hands tied behind your back. I mean, there were so many fans of the first one, and these people, I think Sean will agree, know every single frame of this movie.
They know it more than we do. I mean,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So writing the sequel was a lot like, you can't ever tread on any, it limits your creativity, but also expands it in a lot of ways.
And a lot of things are sacred,
Exactly. You can't tread on any sacred ground for fans or immediately you lose them. So we had to do two things. Write the script in terms of bringing on a new story, but also not tread on any of the, sacrosanct places that the fans from the first movie know. So I figured to myself, I'm just going to make this for Boondock fans. If I keep it like that, then I'm safe.
Right.
But I also did a lot of research on sequels, and I found that there's maybe a handful of sequels, we all know what they are, that really do well, that are as good, if not better than the first one. You got Terminator 2, you got Godfather 2, Rocky 2,
Gandhi 2.
Gandhi 2. But it's like the ones that really do well are the ones that throw a curveball at the fans. I've found. Easiest example is Terminator 2. Suddenly he's a good guy that protects Sarah Connor, right? Fans didn't expect that, and they loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that we needed to take that one aspect and throw some curveballs at the fans in terms of the story. New things, like the new cool thing you're going to like. And so that's kind of the way that I wrote it. I wrote it. Boy, that was a really long explanation. Sean, you got anything to say about that? How was the writing process for you?
It was pretty amazing.
Once I wrote it, when you read it, what did you think?
I thought, I'd have wrote it pretty close to that way, but I'd have extracted a lot of the queer.
Taking out a lot of the queer?
Yeah,
that's
the
too bad.
homosexuality.
All right, so
I'd have made it a lot more heterosexual.
Boondock 2 coming at you slightly queer. You're going to like it, though.
That's what I'd have done, but mine will just move, but...
You're doing my job for me over here. Sean, I guess to sort of expand on that, being an actor and what was it like going back to the character after so much time? What for you changed, and how did that affect the performance?
I'm 10 years older, but other than that, I mean, the script it's chronologically correct. So the characters are 10 years older, so it's not like I gotta go and pretend I'm, Danny Zuko in high school when I'm 38. You know what I mean? So the characters are true, and it's not. I'm not one of those method actors that okay, I gotta go live in Ireland for 6 months so that I can play this character. It's
although that would have been really cool.
It would have.
I would have been there too.
Yeah. rifling through the ladies. You know. But you know, I mean, it's like a perfectly fit glove. You know, you just slide right back into it. But I mean, it doesn't hurt the fact that I dig everybody on the show. You know, me and Norman get along well, and that's pretty unheard of as far as actors go. I mean, he's like a brother to me, man. I mean, I would hang with this cat in work, out of work. Same thing with Troy. I mean, these are cats that I would actually hang out with.
I totally wouldn't hang out with him though.
Yeah, it's unidirectional, but I'm okay with that. You know.
PronounceNames.com.
Troy Duffy. Troy Duffy. Troy Duffy.
Wow. Simply wow says it all. Troy Duffy. You are a genius. Okay? This is one of the best sequels I've ever seen. I thought Rocky 2 was an awesome sequel. The McNabbs brothers, the Saints, just took Rocky and knocked him out within 5 seconds of the first round. Just one punch and knocking him out. I gotta say, you guys did a tremendous job with the writing, the acting, the action, the one-liners, the comedic performances by everybody. Everybody did something that was always funny. Everyone was just great, you know? Like, I have to say, it's worth seeing more than once. If you're a true Boondock Saints fan, you will see it at least once or twice or maybe 3 times, you know? But I have a question for the whole cast. Like, this is my question.
Fucking what the fucking fuck? Who the fuck? Fuck this fucking. How did you do fucking fucks? Fuck!
Yeah. Like Rocco just said. Yeah. You know, it was just great, you know? And I gotta say, I know I'm repeating myself. It's worth seeing. I paid $8. Well worth of paying $8. I would pay more. You know, I want to. This movie was just simply the best. And I gotta. Whew, I would say my favorite quote in the whole movie, but I don't want to give anything away because it was just great. You know, there's some scenes out
So what are your plans for the future? Like, obviously you're going to do Boondock Saints. Do you see a third sequel? Do you see...
I'm going to open up a restaurant or something. No, I you know, there's a 10-year gap in between the movies. I wrote a lot of scripts. I have a lot of faith in them. I haven't brought them out yet. I'm going to let people real close to me read them. And I believe I have 4 other pieces of material, hopefully knocked down one at a time from here on out. And there's even possibly, you know, the idea of in a couple of years maybe doing a part 3 on Boondock. There's certainly some ideas percolating for that.
So are there any other projects that you guys have coming up that you're excited about?
Yeah, I'm doing Robert Redford's film Conspirator right now, about the assassination of Abe Lincoln, and then a couple things.
TV thing called Devlin Made Me Do It, and a movie called Sunshine Superman.
Just backtracking a little bit, just the fact that, you know, there is that 10-year gap, and obviously before having not done a film specifically to Troy, how different was it approaching the sequel now that you have Boondock Saints under your belt? You know, you have some. You're not a first-time director.
Yeah, you know, in 10 years you pick up a few things, but it's essentially the same. You know, I took to this craft of writing and directing like a fish to water for whatever reason. I don't know how, I don't know why, it just kind of made sense to me. So there wasn't like, there's not some huge, beautiful
story about how the light suddenly, shone down upon me and the clouds parted. And suddenly, I go do the sequel and I have all this knowledge I didn't have before. It was pretty much the same thing, like riding a bicycle. I think that there's a lot of people that can do this out there, and there's a lot of people that can't. And you roll with the punches, man.
So I've been asking a lot of questions to you guys. For you, is your band still together?
Nah, man, creative differences. Now that business is too tough for me. To serve two masters. My musical involvement these days is hopefully just focusing on putting music in the film. In Boondock 2, we tried to make this soundtrack, stamp it as a moment in time, all unsigned new acts or recently signed new acts that I found in bars around Los Angeles. My own brother, who happens to be a brilliant songwriter, we recorded a song from him that I've been wanting to do for years called Plastic Jesus, plays like a in the film. Since we didn't have any money and a lot of pressure, we decided to just go take it to the street, and that's what we did.
I guess. Yeah, go ahead. Just from a fan perspective, where did the infamous McManus family prayer come from? Is that an actual prayer that you modified? Is it something you scripted?
Oh, interesting story. My father used to be he was an authority on the Bible when I was very young, before our family just ditched religion altogether. And I called him up and I said, look, I got to do this prayer. I had some lines. He said, let me think about it. He came up with some stuff, then found some stuff from the Bible, and we cobbled together the prayer. And it was like, 30 lines long, and then I started finding things that rhymed and stuff, so it was partial Bible, partial me, partial my dad. And I'd always planned on going back and kind of readdressing it, but it just ended up being exactly what I needed,
Don't mean to put any of you on the spot, but do you have it memorized or something? I just know a lot of the fan base.
I do. Yeah, of course, man. Yeah. I've had kids come up to me and
I know lines from my favorite movies, man. I mean, of course, I'm a movie fan,
What would you guys say to anybody who is trying to break into the acting or the filmmaking industry? Like, what would you say to them to give them words of encouragement?
Words of advice I always give are live well within your means at all times. I got friends that get a TV pilot, they get paid 80 grand or something, and it's not even picked up yet, and they go get a Merc, or something. It's like, things not even picked up yet, you know what I mean?
Driving a Ferrari.
Yeah, they're LA is the capital of people with nice cars that are renting an apartment. It's just like, wait, you're pulling that thing up to an apartment? Really? So live well within your means, and also don't forget that this is an industry that everybody would pay to get into. So 2 years down the line, when you're doing a TV show or something, or you're directing your 18th episode, don't let anybody hear you go, man, I've been doing this for a year now. God, I gotta get out of this and go on to big features. It's like, a year ago, if somebody said, I'll let you direct this episode of, I don't know, The Closer, but you gotta pay me $5 grand. You'd be on the phone with your mom. Mom, we gotta find $5 grand. They're gonna let me direct a TV, So a year from now, don't let people hear you going, directed 8 of these now. I gotta move on to I hate people that are like, I'm so blessed, but realistically, it's like, I haven't worked in 20 years. Work is my definition is doing something that I pay you to do. I gotta pay you to do this. Because realistically, earmuffs. If they'd come to me and said, we don't have any money to pay you, but we're doing Boondock, I'm still Triple McGee to the dome!
What's your advice to young filmmakers? I think you gotta, as horrible as it is, I think you have to move to LA a little bit, or to New York, Same one, yeah. Maybe bring one of these with you.
Definitely. I mean, if you want to be a model, you're not going to do shopping mall modeling in Texas. You got to move to New York. If you want to do runway stuff, you got to be in New York.
That's how I know if somebody's serious.
Yeah, if they're serious. If somebody's serious, they say, what should I do to get into acting? I'm in Oregon. Move to LA, first of all. It's like you gotta be in the theater to see the show. Don't sing to me how I really want to break into it, but you're in Fort Lauderdale. Really, you want to break into it? Move the to LA. You know, if you want to do theater, move the to New York. That's the first thing you got to do. If you're hungry, first you got to get to the grocery store. Don't ask me a recipe if you don't have ingredients. You know, go pick up the shopping list.
My advice, it can only be to like wannabe writers and directors, because you know I'm not an actor. Always my first thing is you know, you have to make sure that you're legitimately talented. And if your mom and your friends love your that doesn't mean anything.
Well, I guess one final thing, if you had to say something to sell all the listeners on Boondock Saints 2, what would it be?
If you liked 1, 2's gonna blow your socks off. I mean, we literally took everything that we did in 1 and pushed it much farther, you know, and wound it into a completely new story that's totally unpredictable. So far, the fan reactions have been off the charts. I trust that more than anything, more than critics, more than some of the people I work with and stuff like that, more than the opinion of anybody, really. When I see an audience full of fans leaping out of their seats, reacting to every single thing in the film, to every laugh moment, to every horror moment, brutal moment, to every sad moment, that's what I trust more than anything, because it's absolute purity.
For thee, my lord, for thee, power hath descended forth from thy hand, our feet may swiftly carry out thy command. So we shall flow a river forth to thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be. Nomine Patri et Filii, Spiritus Sancti.
Hello, citizens of YouTube land. It's your president and your VP. And yeah, kind of ignore the ATV or dirt bike out there, because we live next to woods, so this is going to happen from time to time. Second review for March of the Irish, guys. This time around, the Boondock Saints did. Released December the 11th, 2009. Directed by Troy Duffy. Stars Sean Patrick Flannery, Norman Reedus, and Clifton Collins. Those are your 3 main leads in the film. It was made for $8 million, and it grossed just $10.6 million. Now, what can I say about this film other than it's pretty forgettable right away? Because first of all, yes, we know who the McManus brothers is, but for the life of me, I struggled for the longest time to even remember who Clifton Collins' character was supposed to be. Then there's also the female FBI agent that I don't remember. They're the only other character that's really remembered well is their father from the previous movie. So, first of all, the movie is pretty much, and this is the one big thing that it really has going for it. And guys, we're not going to say that we absolutely hate this film, because we've seen far worse, of course. But here's the thing. Sean Patrick Flannery and Norman Reedus carry what bare bones script there actually is here, what bare bones story there actually is here, because there isn't much of one. Not that there really was too much of a story per se in the first movie, but they ramp it up even worse here. Whereas, okay, we talked about this numerous times, did me and the VP here. And in the first movie, they have a literal vision from God.
Hey everyone, my name is Troy Duffy, writer-director of Boondock Saints 1 and 2. Now, whenever we meet Boondock fans, they got lots and lots of questions for us. Not only for myself and the actors, but even for the producers and everybody that had anything to do with the making of these movies. So what we figured we'd do is open up the floor to everybody on the internet. So go to @TheSaintsReturn on Twitter and give us your questions. From there, we're going to gather a selection and start answering as many as we can. Also go to @TheSaintsReturn on Twitter for where and when.
I want to talk to this guy because, you know, I mean, I don't know how I missed this movie years and years ago. I really don't. But I watched it this weekend. It was killer, man. Kick ass. Good job. I apologize for just seeing it.
Well, now you got to watch the second one.
You know, now I got to see the second one. But let's bring this dude right in, Mr. Troy Duffy.
Gentlemen,
nice. Yes, I knew you had a big gun.
Yeah, I got all the guns. My gun guy Charlie Taylor made all the rubber replicas for us so that we didn't shoot the DP and kill him.
Right.
We were rehearsing. So he gave them all to me. Got them hanging all around the house. Everybody that comes in here, they're like, "What?"
Right.
Sean, come on in. All right, let's get it locked up nice and quiet for blocking, please.
Steen, what's up, brother?
It's not like it was a negotiation. Troy called, said, "You want to do a second?" I'm like, "Dude, tell me when, man." You know, absolutely.
As many Boondock fans as there are out there, I'm just as big of a Boondock fan, and I'm like in it.
This is scene 81, guys. Where's Firm? Come on, over here. We're shooting right over here.
Yeah, shooting 235. So
I can't have one of them on one side of the frame.
yeah, so it will be a tight two-shot. Yeah,
that's why I requested a long.
But then you won't see him there at the back.
I'd like to get coverage on him if we can, from a little bit over here and the rest right here. At this point, when we say action, you're painting, you're pulling the fucking thing. Go ahead, Romeo.
These daggers are getting antsy. I'm getting fucking peppy and spickarooed out there, man. The kid's about to go poncho fucking me on them.
I wrote the role for Cliff. In terms of writing the sequel, I knew I wanted him involved, and I knew that I saw that third saint character as a Hispanic guy who was like a puppy dog, wanted in the crew, you know, wanted to be patched into the Hells Angels or something, you know.
I was great in that, by the way.
That was excellent. Good work. Clear?
There's a lot of, running and gunning type of shooting. So you kind of just have to be ready to just jump on whatever Troy throws your way.
Go again right away. Do not cut. Go. Cliff, I need more of your line right between them. And action.
Basically going to do things in between servicing them. Okay? And he says, "Mas salsa and nachos." You're actually going to go grab 2 plates of nachos, shove it in front of these guys.
He's got a very specific behavioral vision. Down to cadence, down to, the tonation, those kind of things, which is pretty rare. I mean, some of your other great directors have done it as well. I mean, Fellini is a good example. Yes, Troy, I compared you to Fellini.
And according to the directors, Troy Duffy has not given any public statements about the documentary, likely hasn't seen it, nor has he given his version.
It's been a long time, but now I'm gonna finally address the documentary that was done on me called Overnight. The doc was filmed by Mark Bryan Smith and Tony Montana, who were close friends at the time. Mark and Tony pitched it to me as a positive piece that would tell the real story of a newbie doing his first film, The Boondock Saints, and my fledgling band doing our first album, Release the Hounds. But what they put out was an instant Hollywood scandal that portrayed me as a raging megalomaniac who cared only about fame and money. Overnight instantly ruined my reputation and severely damaged my career, and it continues to, even today. I fucked up. I fucked up a lot. It's one of the things that makes the documentary such a fun watch. I was in my early 20s, jamming with my band, writing a script, working at the bar. Suddenly I was being offered big contracts by big dudes, man. It was a bidding war with Harvey Weinstein and Miramax over here, and Mike DeLuca and New Line over here, the two biggest indie houses out there. Now, there is no guidebook when shit like that happens. I was just kind of thrown into the meat grinder with one foot in Hollywood and the other, like, in fucking reality. And trying to just push forward, learning as I went along, all right? So I said and did some bad things. I made some of the wrong decisions, for sure. But at the beginning, it was going very well, swimmingly. But then, something very bad happened. Dumped by Miramax and Maverick Records simultaneously, both deals up in smoke. When you are the outcast of a powerful movie company and record label at the same time, you're pretty much radioactive. Nobody wants to touch you, and nobody did. At that time, I had two choices, fold or fight. I chose to fight. We all did. And in order to succeed, a bunch of the right decisions and the right moves needed to be made, not just by me, by us as a group and a whole bunch of other people you don't even know about. I encourage those of you who have not seen it to watch it on YouTube. There's a link below. It's an engaging, effective, and well-done documentary. I can see why it has so many fans. But the facts don't change. We had a movie deal, a record deal. We lost them both, resurrected them both, and then went and made our movie and our album our way. How'd I do it? There's a whole other side to this story. It's been buried all this time, and I'm going to show it to you. I went from, bartender to movie maker overnight. Had it all, lost it all, but then I got my second chance. How did I do that? How did I beat such odds? Well, one of the core reasons is that I was surrounded by a bunch of good people who believed in me. The inner circle, you might say. People that were there and saw everything. So let's start this little journey by seeing what some of them have to say. Mike Skelton, what'd you think about the doc?
It's not a true representation of what was going on with you at the time. There's a lot of fabricating information. It just turned into a revenge piece. They wanted to be famous like you.
There's three sides to every story, right? Yours, mine, and the truth. There's only one side told of a story surrounding a bunch of friends.
It seemed like they cut pieces out of different conversations and they made it more sensationalized instead of factual.
I thought that you treated those two boys very, very well, and I thought they stabbed you in the back. The storytelling was slanted. It was a screw job.
It was just very one-sided. There was none of that. We didn't see the bad Tony.
No.
We didn't see the bad Mark, and certainly existed. For sure, they were begging you to follow you around, so that wasn't it at all. You know what I mean? They wanted to be there, and they chose that.
It wasn't the trailer, and what it became to be was totally different, and I think a lot of it was just money. They wanted money. They recut the whole thing. I'd seen it before. I'd seen what it was going to be, and I saw it after, and it's just a totally different film.
And they walked in there with fucking suicide vests. They destroyed themselves. I just thought, do you guys not, are you that young? Do you not know what you just did? You can never work in this town again. That wasn't the story of the Boondock thing. That's not what happened up there.
Everybody came back to do Boondock Saints too. So was it that bad?
I had been worried about those guys, and I didn't trust them. There was something shady. They slandered you as far as I was concerned. I just felt there was some other agenda going, especially with Tony Montana.
I find it strange we've never discussed this. 20 years. Back then, in your opinion, what was the biggest mistake I made? All those years ago when we were going through this, what was the worst thing I did to you? People have been asking me about that documentary. For years, I've kept my mouth shut. They told a story, but it wasn't mine. But what if I told you the version you saw wasn't the one that was supposed to be made? This was the documentary they were supposed to make before things changed, before they edited